What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy Rebelpoc. Welcome back. Once again, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave your comment. Hit that notification so you can be informed when I drop another video. And also subscribe to your boy. Alright? So today, I got something special for y'all. Got a treat for y'all. Now, a lot of y'all youngins, y'all don't know what this is. Maybe a couple older people maybe not know what it is too. Some people know what it is. This is Behold a Pale Horse. Excuse me. And this is the book I was talking about in my last video, actually. William Cooper wrote the book. And it's a great book. So today we're going to do the history. I'm going to start y'all at the beginning. I know a lot of time y'all hear these conspiracies. Y'all hear a lot of things that doesn't make sense. And the way that the system taught you, the way the school system taught you, the way your mom taught you, your uncle, your grandma, everybody taught you the same thing because everybody was taught the same thing. So in order to get to the reality of things, you got to remember that everything you know is a lie. That's the very first thing that you got to remember. Everything you know is a lie. History, when everything you learned in history, it was a lie. All right, and we can get into a whole lot of that as far as history and how it was a lie. Um, all I can tell you is just put on your seatbelt. It's ready to be a ride. All right, so let's get started. So we're gonna start back at the beginning. Maybe not the beginning of Africa. We're gonna start at the beginning when the Europeans entered Africa. That's where I'm gonna start at, and I'm gonna bring you up to date. So, but before I go into, excuse me, how the European got into Africa, I'm gonna start with this. Always remember this through all my videos, through all my talks. Keep this in your head. The world and us, the color of our skin, we've been here millions of years. So the actual timeline that they give you is off. Um, and you know it's off because you see shit on the news here and there. Every time you look up, they find something new. They discover something new that was here such and such many years ago, and it never dawned on anybody to think like, okay, according to what y'all say, we haven't been here that long. But see, the actuality is they haven't been here that long. They inserted themselves into history and made it look like they was here the whole time. And when I say they, you know who I'm talking about. We ain't got to be speaking like we're slow or something. We all know what time it is. So when I speak of they, you know what I'm talking about. So they wasn't here. They inserted themselves into history. They are not human. They came from somewhere else, came here and took over. Now, um, at the beginning, in your Bible, I thought I had one in here. It tells you that um, it tells you that God created the heavens, the earth, and all of that. Then it jumps straight from there into uh, Adam and Eve. Then you get to Abraham. It's like takes off. It doesn't explain no type of timeline or anything. So for them to even have that and be teaching you that and you to actually read that, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I read the Bible 5 times," and you actually understand it. No, you don't understand it. Everyone's making an assumption off of what the people wrote up in there, and they come with their own assumption, and they're arguing. And he's giving his opinion of what he thinks it stands for. He's giving his opinion, but they speaking it like it's the fact. Oh, I could tell you why John didn't do that. Remember in John chapter 1 when Luke did this? Like, come on, man. Come on. It's like, it'd be too much. Everything is about common sense. That's what everything is about, common sense. If it looked like it could happen, then it probably happened. If it sounds dumb, it's probably dumb. All right? So, let's get into it. All right, so we was here before anyone. Let's just get that right out the way. We was here before anyone. Um, we did great things. As far as you can see, we've done great things. Somehow they inserted themselves into our world. At what point, we don't know because they done flipped the history over so much that it's kind of hard to know. But somewhere during life, they inserted themselves. Now, if you know the story, then it says that God kicked Satan out of heaven. He came to the earth. He took angels with him. The angels that he took with him had sex with men, and they created kids. These kids were the angel kids, and these kids had special powers or whatever you want to say. And these kids are still among us. These same kids are they the they that we're actually discussing about today. You understand that? Cool. All right. So now, Alexander the Great is the first, maybe not the first, but he's the one who entered Africa from Europe, and he took over. He had a war with one of the African kings. I'm not going to quote the name of the African king because I don't want to say something that's not true, and I ain't got time to go look it up. So he conquered one of the African kings, and it was a great king. He won a lot of wars, but Alexander the Great, he won that war, which gave him one of the kingdoms in Africa. Uh, I'm not going to say the kingdom. I have one in mind, but I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's true or false. That's for you to look up. Alexander the Great. He enters Africa and he takes over one of the kingdoms. Um, and that's exactly how the actual European got into Africa. After that, a lot of them more start coming over, start going to war. They start choosing which part of Africa they wanted, and they went in, and they went to war and they stole it. All right. So, thus, that's how the European got into Africa. Once the European got into Africa, you know the story of Christopher Columbus and all of that and things of that nature. Well, Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. So what it was Africans, Moors was already in America. The actual they were the people in Africa who was creating things. They the ones who do all the science and things of that nature. They the ones who created a ship or a little raft, as they would probably call it, and they took the raft and they sailed across the different parts of the world. And as time went on, they got smarter and they created more and they created more things the way more people can get on and they travel. All right, so when Christopher Columbus got to America, the Moors were here, but they looked like I ain't gonna say I can't say they look like Indian because Indian is nothing but dark skin. That's all Indian mean, dark skin. So when they got here, the Moors was already here. All right, so now they looked at like the average native Indian now, right? Because they had just invaded, I want to say Spain or one of them, in like 711, something like that. Around that time, they invaded Spain and they won. They took all their women, they had sex, and they created kids, and they just like invaded everything over there. And so that's why when they got here, they was our complexion. They had good hair, things of that nature. But it was still us. They were still dark skinned people. They were still from Africa. At the end of the day, all right. Mind you, this there's nowhere on earth that they have traveled that we haven't already been. Everywhere they found, everywhere they went, they found something of us that showed that we was there, and it made them angry. All right, so now they got to America. They seen the Indians. They called them Indians. They also knew about the Africans, and they seen how they made stuff over there, how they built up their actual everything they had going on over there. So they decided to go over there, get them, bring them over there as slaves, and get them to build up the new world that they was gonna steal from the Indians. All right, so they went over there. They got in contact with the African king. Now, what? The African king is already cool with the Europeans because the Europeans then already came over there. They just scared of them. Still, more or less, they convinced them to sell them some slaves for horses, drinks, things of that nature. So they said, cool. They had a tribe that they was willing to sell. I already told the story before, but they had a tribe they willing to sell because what? It was the people who thought they were special anyway. They thought they was gods, God's chosen. So excuse me. So they ain't mind getting rid of them. Sold them to them. They went over there, brought them over here. Now, in order to get you and to fuck you up, what did they do? They named the Indians Indian, and they named you African Americans, niggas, whatever, whatever, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Because truth be told, it fucked them up that we was already in America before they got there. So they see that we had traveled years before them. The Moors was there years before them. So when they brought us over here, it's like, oh shit, we got the same motherfuckers. They might just got straight hair because they had went to Spain and they had took over there and before they got to America, but it was the same motherfuckers. So they had to split us up and make you think that you was Indian, make you think you was African American. Why? Once you give us the African American, that means we don't have no country. We don't belong to nowhere. There's no such thing. We don't even exist. The Indians exist because they was already here, so they gave them their existence, but they didn't give us our existence. Thus, because if they do give us our existence and we do the knowledge, we found out that what? The Indians was what? Us. And what do that mean? That means that we own this land. This land is ours. And once all of us start to think like that, we'll get their ass up out of here because this is really, really our land. We can really go take claim, right? Now, if you look at anybody's family that you know, if you this complexion, you look into anybody's family that you know, you're going to see that somebody's grandmother, somebody's grandfather, somebody's somewhere in the line is an Indian. I guarantee you that. You can start the night, call your family, call somebody, call your friends. Most people of this color, somebody in your family deep is an Indian. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So I gave you the history of Africa as far as the European entering Africa. I gave you the history of as far as them coming over here in America and you know how they figured it out and planned everything and how we was in America before they were and how we got there and how we looked, things of that nature. So if you don't got this book, I advise you to get this book. It's a great read. We're going to continue to get into this. I had to give you the history first before we get into this. So now you got the history. Go ahead and do your own research. Look up what I said. Don't just take my word for it. And video 2, tomorrow, we will get into this. This is a real thick book with a lot of pages, so we're going to be doing these videos for a while. It's your boy Rebelpoc signing off. Don't forget to hit that subscription button. Don't forget to hit that notification so you can catch up with my videos. Peace.